Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to solve another math. This is the math number 3 of chapter 2. What is your chapter 2? According to the your textbook, your chapter 2 is transaction. Transaction, right? Dear SSC students, if you find your textbook here, this math number is a 3 number. What we have been told, but whatever we did earlier, like we already solved previous two maths. These two maths were based on the manufacturing base. That means by selling goods, they generate or they produce their income. But in this math, it is totally different. It's a service-based business. You can see Ashfi started her legal practitioner. What do you mean by service-based business? Like university, school, college, medical, orphanage, and legal practitioner, doctor, engineer, and teacher. What do? We mostly provide services. We don't sell any goods or services. So these sorts of business are called service-based business. So the more service will be given to the clients, the more income would be generated by the business. That means sales is also a source of income for the manufacturing business. On the other hand, providing services is the main source of income for the service-based business. As he is a lawyer or legal practitioner, the more service he or she would be given to the clients, the more income would be generated in this way. Then business legally on 2nd May 2017. The events of the first month were as follows. Invested taka in her business, that means it's a capital. Paid office rent 18,000. Service equipment purchased on credit. As we know earlier that on credit, on account, and outstanding. That means I haven't paid anything. I have to pay. The person to whom or to any organization to whom we are going to pay, that is recognized as accounts payable. That means I have purchased equipment, but I haven't paid anything, but I have to pay. Legal service provided to the client, that's a source of income. Paid salary, it's an expenses. Loan taken from the bank, on the one side cash increased, on the other side liability increased. Legal service provided to the class on credit, whatever, if you provide anything, that should be recognized as your income. Paid taka 30,000 against credit purchase of service equipment. Okay, whenever you can see I have purchased on account 40,000, but I have paid to him at the end of the month 30,000. Okay, that means my creditor is only 10,000. What is the requirement? First, we have to do calculate the unpaid amount of service equipment. You can see what is the service equipment we have purchased on credit 40,000. First of all, you have to write down here service equipment purchased on credit or on account. What is our amount? 40,000. That means previously till the payment, my accounts payables amount was 40,000. That means I am bound to him pay 40,000 taka. But what happens to the 30? Paid taka 30,000 against credit purchase of service equipment. Previously, my creditor or accounts payable was 40,000. Now I have paid. As I have paid to him, how it indicates? That indicates the reduction of accounts payable. Paid to the creditor less paid to the creditors indirectly. Paid to the creditors. What is my amount here? Paid to the creditors. How much? 30,000. Now what is the left? Only 10,000. Is it clear, sir? Calculate the unpaid amount of service revenue. So what is my total amount of unpaid amount of service equipment? Only 10,000. 10,000 will be my answer. 10,000 would be my answer. That's why calculate the unpaid amount of service revenue. According to the sequence, give a title, then note down all of them. So our first one is done. What we have been told in the math or requirement number 2, sir? Requirement number 2. Okay. Calculate the amount of Ashfia equity at the end of the month. Okay, sir? If you want to do this, first of all, you have to get here. Whenever you have been told to determine the total amount of equity, you have to remember that what are the element of equity? Element of equity are only capital plus revenue minus drawing and minus expenses. Is it clear, sir? You can see. That means whenever capital is brought, by the owner in any business that indicates the increment of the equity. That means you have to add with the main figure. On the other hand, drawing an expenses reduction, decrement of the equity. Only these four elements would be included here. Again, I'm saying only whenever you have been told to assess equity amount, what are the elements of equity? Only there are four elements of equity. We can see capital plus revenue minus drawing and minus expenses. Rest of them won't be included here. This question might be given in another one. Determine the increased amount of equity. What I have told? Determine the increased amount of equities. At the same time, the creative question, you can also find the same amount. Same question. Determine the increased amount of equity. Increased amount of equity. Same question might be given in another way. Determine the decreased amount of equity. Sir, the test paper, whatever I have written here, you will surely find it. Damn sure. You can say. Determine the increased amount of equity. Now you have to know when our equity increased. When our equity increased. Now try to do this. Our equity is mostly increased due to the bringing capital and generating income. Sorry, capital plus revenue. And when decreases, drawing in expenses. Only capital and revenue, that means C plus R. These two elements would be included here. No assets, no liability, no expenses, anything. When the decrease, drawing plus equity. You have to add all of them. That indicates the decrement of the equity. Is it clear, sir? Only in this way you have to calculate all of this. Now, according to our math, what is given here? Okay, sir. Try to get this one. Invested 1 lakh. How many elements do you have to include? Capital plus revenue. Try to get this one. Invested taka 1 lakh in her business. Fine. Whenever anything is brought by the owner to the business, that is recognized as the capital. What is my capital amount is here? 1 lakh. You can say, what is my capital amount here? My capital amount is 1 lakh taka. What is my capital, sir? Is 1 lakh taka. Capital plus revenue minus drawing. Now, okay, first of all, as you know, capital always indicates the increment of the equity. I have written here. Now I have to figure out revenue, drawing, and expenses. Paid office rent. Office rent is an expenses. You can see expenses indicates the reduction of the equity. That means I have to deduct this amount. What is my rent account here? Rent account is 18,000. Rent account is 18,000. I have to deduct as there is a minus sign. So if you deduct 18,000 from 1 lakh, what would be my amount? 82,000, right? Okay. Then legal service provided to the clients for cash. Legal service. The more service would be provided to the clients that indicates the increment of the revenue, because in case of the service based business, they generate their income by providing services, so that indicates the increment of the equity. What is the amount here? It is the metro of legal service provided to the clients, 30,000. Okay, now we have to add 30,000. So 2 8 and then 3 11, 1 lakh 12,000 is my amount. Now paid salary. Salary is the elements of the expenses. So expenses means I have to deduct. What is my amount here? Salary. Paid salary 10,000. Deduct this one 10,000, sir. What is our amount here? 1 lakh 02,000. Okay. Legal service provided. Again, which one is this? Oh, before that, you have to get this one. Loan taken from the bank. If I take loan from the bank, we can say cash account debit, loan account credit. There is no changes of capital, revenue, drawing, and expenses, because we have been told to only determine the total amount of the equity at the end of this month, not any asset, not any liability. So it won't be included here. Legal service provided to the clients on credit taka 60,000. That indicates the increment of the income. So revenue. So what is the amount here? Legal service provided 60,000. What is our total amount here, sir? 1 lakh 62,000. We have to, again, we have to check this calculation, because without calculation, I have just Note it down. It 1 lakh minus 18,000. What is 82,000? Add services plus 30,000. 1 lakh 12,000 minus 10,000. Paid salary 10,000. It's okay. Then again I have to add what? Legal service provided 60,000. Then 60,000. 1 lakh 62,000. Now it's okay, sir. Our second requirement is also done. What is our third requirement? Show the effects of math transactions on accounting equations. Sir, whenever you have been told about equation, you have to write down here same this math. Like prove that A equal to L plus C. Like prove that A equal to L plus C. It's a tabular format. What do we do? But there's also an exceptional. In the test paper, if you even get chance to check it out, you will find there are some unique questions. What are they? The option number 2, there might be given show the effects of the transaction of accounting equation and prove that the requirement number C, there would be given prove that A equal to L plus C. What would be your answer at that time? At that time, you have to show this math only like identifying transaction process. Like asset increased or decreased, you have to note down it. Not you have to make any tabular format. If you have been given these two questions in the requirement number 2 and 3, like B and C. Again, I'm saying if your questions B number is given like that, show the effects on math transaction, and it is given for option number C. So it is given for option number C. What would be answer? Now you are doing that whenever you have been told show the effects of math transaction or accounting equation at that time by following this tabular format, we are solving this math. You should remember that when you have been told these two questions in a single math, but you can't do that, would be for option number C. So, sir, what would be the option number B? At that time, you have to solve the option number 2 math by following this format. Is it clear, sir? There's a key point you need to remember. That might be chance to be here if it is an exceptional one. Okay, now our requirement 2 is done. Now we have to move to our requirement number C. Okay, sir. What is our requirement number C? Invested taka 1 lakh in her business. The first one. So because of this investment, how about my cash? My cash be increased 1 lakh taka. Again, I'm saying whenever it's a matter of equity, please note down these four elements at anywhere on the top or the below. Wherever you need, you can easily use it. Capital plus revenue always indicates the increment of the equity. On the other hand, drawing in expenses indicates the reduction of equity. Is it clear, sir? So because of bringing cash to the business by the owner, that indicates the increment of the equity, because capital is a sign of the increment of the equity and it is a part of the equipment. What is the amount here? 1 lakh. Before asset, and here on the right side liability and equity, all of them balance are equal. Now 1 lakh, placed it at the balancing method. 1 lakh would be placed here. Now may 4, paid office rent. Office rent is an expenses, right? So because of paying the office expense, how about my cash situation? My cash also reduces. Again, to deduct anything, I am used to using bracket mark. You can do the same math. How about the expenses? You can see office rent is an expenses, right, sir? So expenses indicates the reduction of equity. What is here? 18,000. Now deduct it, 82,000. Here also same, 82,000. Before and after equal, all the amounts are same, 82,000 and 82,000. That means while doing this math, I am making sure that I am solving this math in a proper way. How? By doing the balancing method. Again, I am saying most of the students I have seen, to save their times, they don't do the balancing method. They just put down all of the values. At the end of the math, whenever they make any mistakes unwillingly or with absence mind, at the time they can't figure out the total figures. That's why I have suggested all the students to do this math by following the balancing method. Is it okay, sir? Instead of writing this balance here, it's a time consuming matter. You shouldn't do that. So you can do balancing method by following this method. How? whatever would be written in the top of the line, you have to put the balance on the second line on the top of, and that transaction would be on the below line. There must be written in the two column base. By following two columns, you need to write down here. Then service equipment purchased on credit. Try to get this one. Service equipment. Equipment is in my asset. Equipment, what my business is receiving is equipment. What is my equipment? Value is 40,000. Okay, fine. Is it a cash or on account? On account means creditor or accounts payable indicates also. Because I haven't still paid him, but I have to pay him. What is the amount here, sir? 40,000. Then 82,000, 82,000, 40,000. You can see similar. 40,000, 82,000, 40,000, 82,000. That means all of them are similar and same amount. Now move to the Mat 12. Legal service provided to the clients for cash. That means I have already provided services to the clients. How? On account or cash? Cash. That indicates the increment of cash. What is my cash amount here? 30,000 increases. And services is the elements of the making profit, right? The more service I will provide to the clients, the more income would be generated in my business. So it is a indicates the increment of the revenue. So capital plus revenue is always plus. You have to add with them. What is my amount here? 30,000. 2, 8, 3, 11, 1 lakh, 12,000 taka. Then what is my balance here? 40,000. 40,000. Then again at the same amount. 1,12,000 taka, sir. Is it okay? You can see 1,12,000 plus 40,000. That means my assets balance is 1,52,000 taka. On the other hand, if I add liability plus equity, my both balance are same 1,52,000 taka. That means I'm sure about my math. Then math 16. Paid salary to the office staff taka 10,000. If I paid any money to the office staff, how it would affect my business? That indicates the reduction of cash. What is the reduction of cash amount? 10,000. Because of this payment, my cash situation also decreases. How about expenses? What are the elements of the expenses? We can see here, expenses is the element of the equity that always indicates the reduction of equity. What is the amount here? 10,000. Deduct it and must use bracket mark. 1 lakh 2,000 plus 40,000. Okay, that means 1,42,000 total amount. Here is 40,000. Same amount 1,02,000. That means 1,42,000. It's okay. Now, Mat 25. Loan taken from the bank taka 1 lakh. If I take loan from any organization or any person, what would be my cash situation? For example, I'm receiving 100 taka from you. That means my cash amount has increased. What is the amount? 100 taka. At the same time, it indicates that increment of the cash. What is the cash amount here? 1 lakh taka. From where I have taken loan? Bank. So bank loan is a liability. Obviously, if I take any loan from the businesser today or tomorrow, I have to pay. It might be given a certain time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, whatever time would be given to me. After this period, obviously I have to pay. That's why till the payment of this loan, that indicates the increment of the liability. That's why bank loan 1 lakh taka. Now add this balance as usual, 1,02,000 taka, 1 lakh and 40,000. Is it okay, sir? Now how about rest of them? 40,000, then 2 lakh 2,000. Now if you add our balance on the asset side, 2 lakh 42,000, you can see here 2 lakh 42,000. All of the figures are equal. Now May 27. Legal service provided to the clients on credit. You can see on credit. That means I haven't received anything. The person who is going to pay me or to whom I am going to receive money, he is my debtor. What is my amount here? 60,000. 60,000 is my debtor. But services, how? By providing services. So services means that indicates the increment of the revenue. What is the amount here? 60,000. I have to add. You can see revenue and capital should be always add with the same figure. 1 lakh 62,000 taka. Then 1 lakh then 40,000. What is our rest amount? 60,000, 40,000, and 2 lakh 02,000. What is our total amount here? You can see 1 lakh, 3 lakh 2,000, 3 lakh 2,000 from the both side. Okay, fine. Now this is our last. Pay taka 30,000 against credit purchase of service equipment. Whenever I have purchased equipment at that time, my accounts payable or credited amount worth 40,000 taka. What is the amount, sir? 40,000 taka, right? Now what has been told here? 30,000 I have paid. Whenever I have already paid, that indicates the reduction of cash. Previously, my cash was 2 lakh 2,000, but because of this payment, my cash amount has decreased. To whom I have paid? Creditor. Previously, my creditor was 40,000 taka. As I have already paid him 30,000 taka, that indicates the reduction of the creditor. What is our balance here? 10,000, 1 lakh, 1 lakh 62,000, 60,000, 40,000, 2 lakh 02, 2 lakh 02,000 minus 30,000, 1 lakh 72,000. Now we have to add all of them. 1 lakh 72,000 plus 40,000 plus 60,000. What is our amount here? Our total amount is 2 lakh 72,000 taka. Is it okay, sir? Now I have to add. You can see 1 lakh 60,000, 10,000, 1 lakh 72 plus 2 lakh 72,000 taka. That means, sir, as on the both of the side, my balance is equal. That means I'm sure about my math. My math is okay, sir. Is it okay, sir? Thank you so much for attending this class. Inshallah, in our next class, we are going to solve which number according to your textbook. What do we have done here? This is the math number 3, right? The next class, inshallah, we are going to solve the math number 4. Till then, stay healthy and happy. Assalamu alaikum.